Come, let me tell you about one of the oldest practices among the Akans of Ghana. This ceremony is Braguru, the ceremony that turned girls into women. One morning, Akusu awoke to find that her body had spoken in a language only women understood. She sat alone on her sleeping mat, her hands clasped tightly, her face showing confusion and a little fear. She did not cry out, she did not run, she simply sat and waited, because deep in her bones she knew something had changed. Her mother, Maame Ajewa, entered quietly. She saw her daughter, she saw the cloth. Her face softened with understanding. She knelt beside her daughter and pulled her close, and they embraced without words. And in that embrace, the girl understood. She was not alone. She had never been alone. A mother's work is never done, but on this day, Maame Ajewa had only one task: to find the Queen Mother, to announce that a new flower had bloomed in her garden. She walked through the village as the sun rose higher. Women balanced pots on their heads, children chased chickens, men mended tools under trees. She approached the larger compound, and at its entrance stood the Queen Mother, regal, calm, wrapped in kente that spoke of generations. Behind her, 2 elder women waited. Maame Akosua knelt and spoke. She told the Queen Mother that her daughter had become a woman. The Queen Mother extended a hand to lift her and replied that the ancestors already whispered of it. The old ways, she said, would come. The elders gathered in a courtyard, as they had gathered for centuries. The Queen Mother sat on an elaborate stool, and the elder women formed a semicircle around her on smaller stools. Their voices were low. They spoke of the girl's family: good, hardworking, respectful. One elder remembered the girl's grandmother, who had walked the same path. The Queen Mother declared that they would prepare. Tomorrow, before the sun painted the sky, they would go to the river. And so it was decided that Akosua would become a woman. In a private space, Akosua stood before the Queen Mother. Her mother stood behind her, hands on her shoulders. The elder women watched from the sides. There are things that must be known, things that must be seen. The ancestors do not accept what is not pure. The Queen Mother performed the examination, her face serious. Akosua looked down, her breath held. For a moment, time itself seemed to pause. The birds stopped singing, the wind stopped blowing. Even the ancestors leaned closer to watch. Then, the Queen Mother sat back. A small smile crossed her face. She nodded once. She declared Akosua pure and worthy. Maame Ajewa's face crumbled with relief and pride. She pulled Akosua into a fierce embrace and wept. She wept because her daughter had honored the family, the ancestors, and herself. In an open courtyard, a beautiful wooden stool rested on a colorful mat covered with rich cloth. Women gathered around. The Queen Mother stood beside the stool. Akosua, now wearing a white cloth, was led forward by 2 elder women to sit on the stool. The Queen Mother called for her to be lifted. 2 elder women lifted Akosua, stool and all, into the air. The women gathered clapped softly, rhythmically. Once, the ancestors see her. They lifted her again. Twice, the village sees her. They lifted her a 3rd time, then set her down. She remained seated. Akosua sat tall. Her face showed solemnity, joy, wonder. Before the rooster crowed, before the first bird sang, the women prepared. The sky was deep blue, fading to gray. In the compound, women moved quietly. One tended a fire, another arranged items in a brass pan, the yawa. Water glistened inside. Beside it lay oduen leaves, green and fresh from the river. At dawn, a procession moved through the village. The elder women led, followed by Akosua, then her mother and other female relatives. They walked toward a river in the distance, slowly, with dignity, through the village, past the huts just waking, past the early risers who stopped to remember and watch. At the riverbank, the water caught the pink and gold of sunrise. Elder women formed a semicircle at the water's edge. Akosua stood in the water, which reached her calves. An elder woman dipped uduen leaves into the brass pan, then sprinkled water over Akosua's head and shoulders. Droplets caught the light like scattered diamonds. As she sprinkled, she declared that they wash away the child to reveal the woman. Another elder woman bathed Akosua with her hands. Water ran down her skin. On the bank, Maami Ajewa watched, hand over her heart. Back in the compound, Akosua sat on a mark with women surrounding her. They worked with focus and love to dress her and make her beautiful for the whole village to see. One woman applied white clay in patterns on her arms, her face, her legs. Another strung beads around Akosua's waist. Many beads, colorful, clicking softly, beads for beauty. A third braided Akosua's hair with care, adding small golden ornaments. They dressed her like a queen, because that is what she had become. Akosua looked at herself in a small mirror. Wonder filled her face. Inside a room, sacred and quiet, Akosua knelt before the Queen Mother. Between them, on a low table, sat a wooden bowl with mashed yam, or tor, and a single boiled egg, white and perfect. The Queen Mother held the egg and explained its meaning. This egg is your womb. This egg is your future. You must not break it. You must not chew it. You must swallow it whole, as the ancestors did, as your mother did, as I did. Akosua nodded. She opened her mouth. The Queen Mother placed the entire egg inside. The egg slid down her throat, whole, unbroken, and in that swallowing, her womb was sealed with blessing. She took the mashed yam and swallowed it the same way, without chewing. The elders who watched exhaled together, a single breath of satisfaction. The ancestors, too, breathed easier. The ritual was complete. For days, they taught her the ways of a wife, how to keep a home peaceful. She learned the ways of a mother, how to feed those who depend on her. She learned the ways of a woman, how to honor the ancestors, how to carry tradition in her heart. She learned in silence. She carried in silence, but what she carried would speak for her all her life. The compound buzzed with activity. Women cooked in large pots, steam rising. Men arranged stools and benches. Children ran underfoot, chased away with laughter. Drummers tuned their drums, tapping experimentally. The village prepared. It was not just Akosua's celebration. It belonged to everyone. When a girl becomes a woman, the whole community rejoices. The drums would speak today. They would tell the story of Akosua's becoming. They would make the ancestors dance. And then the Durbar. The entire village gathered. Drums pounded, fontonfon, atumpan, talking drums. People danced, some in groups, some alone, moved by the rhythm. Akosua entered. She was transformed, adorned in her finest, bright cloth, layers of beads, white clay patterns glowing on her skin. She walked with new confidence, new grace. Look at her. Look at the woman she has become. The beads clicked as she walked. The clay gleamed on her skin. She was beauty. She was strength. The Queen Mother rose and danced toward Akosua. They danced together. The crowd ululated, the sound rising and falling like waves. The drummers played harder. Feet kicked up dust that glowed golden in the afternoon sun. A young boy named Kwabna watched from the edge of the celebration. He tilted his head, curious. He wondered to himself what happened to the boys when they became men. An elder man nearby heard him and chuckled. He told the boy to have patience, that his time would come, but today was for the women. Watch and learn, he said. One day you will understand. So this is how Bragoro happens between the Akans. One day it will be your turn.